Da-da-da-da-da. And Johnny, tell them what they won. Hi, my name is Richard Carassi, and what I'm going to teach you today is how to make a simple Italian style meat sauce with fresh tomatoes from the garden. That's what I love about summer. And some leftover steak from a previous barbecue the night before. And with a little preparation, and one of today's advents is using a slow cooker. Oh my goodness, this thing will make your life so much easier. When you used to slave over the stove for hours and hours, now you just, with some little preparation, throw it into the slow cooker and you got a fabulous sauce. So okay, let's get started. First, what we've got here is some fresh garlic that I've crushed up, and now I'm just going to throw a mince on it so that it's nice and fine. And once you have that all ready, we're in my lovely New York kitchen, which is extremely tiny. It's so tiny I had to bring the prep station out into the living room because I couldn't fit you, the camera, or this clove of garlic in that kitchen. The next thing, after we get that all diced up, is I've got these garlic cloves that I've previously sauteed very low and roasted almost in olive oil. That's going to be a key ingredient. Green peppers that I picked from the garden a week ago. This is perfect. They freeze absolutely magnificent. So just cut them up, dice them up, freeze them, and you have them all ready for whenever you need a dish with peppers. Like I said, we've got our steak. I've got these beautiful fresh tomatoes that just came out of the garden yesterday. We're going to take them and we're going to basically do the same thing. We're going to put a dice on them. These are so red and nice. Oh, the flavor that comes out of these kind of tomatoes when you get them out of the garden. Is just tremendous. Some people don't. They like to get rid of the seeds and run this through a food mill. I'm not one of those. I like the texture of the seeds. I think they add a little bit of flavor to the whole mix. We get rid of that little core piece though. Okay, we've got some tomatoes that are diced up. We've got our garlic that's diced up. You're going to forgive me for a second because the kitchen, as you can see, is way back there. I'm going to throw this in a pan over medium heat with this garlic olive oil. I'm going to saute that up. I'm going to add some seasonings to it, salt, pepper, oregano, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how to put this all together into the slow cooker to let it cook off. Only because it looks so beautiful. Look at that. There's the tomatoes, the garlic, the onion, and the green pepper already diced, ready to go into the pan. I had to do it. I had to bring you in the kitchen here and show you. This looks absolutely amazing. It's the tomatoes, the onions, the green pepper, the garlic, the roasted garlic olive oil, some salt, pepper, and oregano in the pan, cooking all together. That's going to cook down for a while. When it's at a nice consistency, I'm going to throw in some tomato paste, and it's going to be a beautiful zucchini. We're at the point we're going to start handling the meat. We're going to start handling some tomatoes, and I just cut open a can of tomato paste and put it in. My mother taught me open both ends. You get every little bit of tomato paste out of there. It's beautiful. And now we're going to get to the meat portion of the program. 1 second, please. Get yourself a sharp knife. Take your steak that you had left over from your barbecue last night. In this case, I made these beautiful 7-bone chuck steaks. And we're just going to start to cut it up into pieces. If they don't have to be small, they don't have to be tiny. what we're aiming for. I want to get all those juices out of the bag because, wow, there's a lot of flavor in there. What I'm aiming for is for this meat to completely cook off, render off all the fat from inside, get all those flavor out of the bones, and that's going to add to this sauce something tremendous. As you can see, this steak was just cooked. I kind of cooked this because I knew I was going to do this tape. And so I only just like seared it really on the outside on the barbecue grill because I like that flavor the grill adds to this whole program. And we're just going to cut this up real quick. If the bone's too big, just break it. Cut it up, cut them up, throw it in the pot. Then I'm going to cheat a little bit. Since I only had like 6 or 10 tomatoes come out of the garden this week, I'm going to throw in a can of San Marzano tomatoes that are in a can. They're whole, plump tomatoes, peeled, and I got to tell you, they're really good, especially when you don't have fresh tomatoes on hand. They're almost as good as picking them out of your garden. So we're going to throw them in here. I'm going to break them up as I put them in. That's why Mama said you had to wash your hands so well. Here, funny story. My mother is Irish. And she married an Italian. And before she could marry my father, in those days, she had to go and spend time at my grandmother's house and learn how to cook for her son. That was part of the deal, because generally an Italian did not marry anybody outside of the Italian race, which was the way it was back then in the 40s. Okay, let's take care of that. I'll be right back. I'm just going to wash my hands. Okay, I had to bring it back in the stove again, and the reason being is because of this. This is so beautiful. It's so fragrant. It's delicious. This is the base. This is the garlic, the roasted garlic, the tomatoes, the peppers, the onions, the tomato paste, salt, pepper, oregano. I'm going to throw in a little basil in a little bit. This has been cooking down. This is your flavor base. It smells absolutely phenomenal. This is what's going to go into the slow cooker with that can of San Marzano tomatoes and with the meat. And that's the base for your sauce. So just hang on, we'll be right back. This is Fab. That was my father, sorry. He's 86 years old. God bless him. He's a little bit quirky. I threw away a comb of his, and it happened to be his favorite comb. So I was just getting a jaw lashing or a butt lashing, however you want to put it. Okay, here's another thing. I showed you those beautiful tomatoes. I showed you the onions and everything simmering down with the tomato paste. I happen to like to deglaze that pan with just a little bit of any kind of house red wine. I don't care what it is. If it's a Chianti, it should be an Italian wine, an Italian semi-dry wine. I like Chianti. I like Valpolicella, anything like that. Just something that you would drink, but that's not too hideous. And I'm going to throw some of that in the pan. I'll be right back. Oh my goodness, I wish you could smell this. That's going to simmer down. Over here we've got our beef with our tomatoes. I might throw a little bit of seasoning on that. Maybe just a sprinkle of salt, maybe a touch of pepper. maybe a little oregano. You can see this, trying to cook in this kitchen is absolutely mind-boggling. Because the kitchen's in there, the sink is in there, the refrigerator's right here, and my prep area is out here. What do you want? We live in New York. In New York, you got a tiny space, so we know got that a big place. Gotta make a do. What do you got? Now here's the big little Italian secret. And don't let anybody fool you. None of these fancy fancies that think they are the best Italian cooks. They revert to simple things. And one of the simple things is every sauce that has tomato paste in it, tomatoes, you got to throw a little sweetness in it to counteract for the acidity of the sauce. Otherwise, everybody walks away with upset stomachs. So we're going to take a little bit of sugar. Just like maybe a half a tablespoon, and throw it in here. And what that'll do is, as this thing cooks down, it's going to take away some of that acidity. It's going to add some beautiful caramelization to the sauce. The sauce isn't going to be a bright red. It's going to be a little bit like of a maroon is what it's going to turn. He's a happy camper. Where was I? All right. We deglazed the pan. Here it is. This is absolutely magnificent looking. I wish you could see this, but it's phenomenal. The lighting's horrible here too. The smell is incredible. I'm gonna put this in with our beef and our tomatoes, our canned tomatoes, and we're gonna get every little bit because this is like gold. And put that in there. Beautiful. And we're going to throw in, I like to throw in at this point a couple of bay leaves. Okay, maybe 3 for good luck, okay? And we're going to stir that all together. You can, now watch what I'm going to say. You can at this point throw in a can of water. Water is a neutral flavor. It has no flavor. And it'll add some volume to the stock here, what's going to be our sauce, which will let it reduce further, which means in the long run, it's going to help concentrate the flavors. So, now that that's all mixed together, I'm going to bring it inside. I'm going to put it on the slow cooker. I'm going to put it on low. And we're going to let this sit because I'm going to work in like 5 minutes. And when I get back 8-9 hours from now, this is going to be a fabulous sauce that I'm going to throw on some pasta, and we're just going to have a fabulous meal, that with some crusty bread. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you for coming. Have a nice day, and come back next time. See you soon. You could, if you want. I just added like the equivalent of a can full of water. I hate to do this, keep coming back like this, but I'm going to edit this anyway. So I added like a can full of water equal to the can of the tomatoes. You can, if you want, to put the more vino in here. It'd be a delicious thing. But maybe you get a little tipsy, but no. Just kidding. Not tipsy here. Once the alcohol gets burnt off, all you're left is with the flavor. Okay. She's a beautiful thing. Now we're going to take it, stick it on the slow cooker, let it cook. When it's all done, 6 hours, 7 hours, when I get back from work, 8 hours, whatever it is, it's going to be on low. It's not going to be burnt. This is the fabulous thing about these slow cookers. This is such a heavy crock that stuff really, rarely ever burns unless you leave it there with no liquid in it. So, when I get back, I'm going to come back to you and we're going to throw this on some pasta and decorate it with a little basil. It's going to be beautiful. You're going to see. Award-winning meal, no time. See you soon. Bye. Okay, while that's cooking, before I have to actually go to work, I just want to clean up a little bit and explain to you a little bit about my premise here. My premise is what's for dinner. We all have very busy lives. I know I'm up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning every morning. From there, I'm out. I gotta go to work, and I'm the one that cooks. My wife, she don't cook so good. So, that being said, I gotta get the meals ready so that by 6 o'clock, we're sitting down to dinner 6, 7 o'clock most times. Sometimes I'm not even back yet. But at least they have a nice hot meal, and it's home cooked, because I don't believe in fast food. I don't believe in food that's not prepared from ingredients that I've picked out. I don't like things with preservatives, additives, all this other nonsense in it. I believe that is a lot of the ills for our country today, and what's making people sick. So if you go with fresh ingredients, as fresh as you can get, and as you can afford, because today prices on everything is absolutely astronomical, so you got to be careful with your ingredients. So that's why I chose a nice cheap steak cut. It's going to cook in there. It's going to become fabulous over the next 6, 7 hours. It's going to be beautiful. And just like every other American, I come home at night, I'm tired, I want a hot meal. It's done. I just got to throw together the pasta. What's that take? 10 minutes for it to cook in the water? A little salted water. It's done. It's a beautiful thing. And we're all struggling for what's for dinner. So that's what this show is basically going to be called. It's going to be called What's for Dinner. I look inside my fridge. I look inside my pantry. I say, what do I have? What do I have to work with? Here's what's for dinner. Luckily, through Food Network, I've learned all these different techniques and ways of cooking things, stuff I would have never imagined when my mother first started teaching me how to cook when I was a kid. So, all that said and done, I hope you come back. I hope to see you soon. I'm going to educate you. I'm going to teach you how to do things with what you've got. And sometimes it's going to be fabulous gourmet meals. Other times it's going to be just rustic, beautiful, stick-to-your-rib kind of meals. So, okay, I have a few ingredients left over from making the sauce, and I got a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a little salad that we're going to have with our dinner. I have this beautiful 100 square foot balcony here, which is very odd in New York. And every year I use every single inch of it to grow whatever I can grow. Tomatoes, basil, hot peppers, oregano, whatever I can grow that I use during the year. Because if I grow it, I'm not buying it. And it makes a lot of sense because I know where it came from. I know it's 100% organic. And it just, the taste is a lot different too. So I'm going to slice up my tomatoes that I had left over from making the sauce. I'm going to use those in a nice salad. Any pieces that you see that are blemished or something like that, be sure to cut off. So I'm slicing the tomatoes like 1/4 inch thick, and I'm going to put them in a, we're all not master chefs, we're all not plating monsters, so, and for our families it's a little bit different. I'm mainly concerned with feeding everybody something that looks good, tastes good, and whatnot. So I'm just putting it in a Tupperware because I'm going to throw it in the refrigerator and put it out later and plate it later. But right now I'm just slicing up these tomatoes, and they're just absolutely lovely. Tomatoes are very careful, very hard to slice because of their skin. So just be careful, make sure you use a sharp knife. I have an onion here, and I'm going to slice this onion extremely, extremely thin. I'm using, and I'm just guiding it through and cutting it. See, it's wafer thin, look at that, see, just like absolutely nothing. And we're just going to slice that up like that. If you want, you can put raw garlic in here, and it's fabulous. Today we're just going to use some of the leftover roasted garlic from before. Yeah, that should be plenty for this salad. Set this aside. Here's some basil from of course the garden out on the balcony. I'm going to peel off the leaves real quick. Stems aren't very tasty. Great for stock if you have a couple over. Believe it or not, this and cilantro. The stock, if you throw the cilantro stems in, adds a lot of flavor. Easy to fish out too. I'm just going to shift it out these real quick. Going to throw that in. Oh, the smell that comes off when you cut up basil. It's just amazing. And what else we got? We have a few of the cloves of garlic, the roasted garlic and the olive oil. I'm going to stick that all in there with the garlic. I have salt. I have oregano, black pepper. If you want, I grow these also out on the balcony. These are like serrano chilies. I grow all kinds of chilies. I got like 4 or 5 different kinds. Pepperoncino, Italian type. I dry them and use them throughout the entire winter. They dry fabulously. Just throw them in the oven for at about whatever the lowest temperature you have. If you can't get it at a low temperature below like 100 degrees, open the door. Put something to open the door and keep it open. That'll make sure that your temperature stays low, and keep a thermometer in there. That'll make sure that you're at the temperature you want, about 100 degrees. And I dry them out, and then I keep them all winter long. And I just crumble them up, and there's your pepperoncino. Throw them in your salad. I just want a little heat in this, just a little background flavor. Something to say, what is that? It's delicioso. And we got some beautiful red wine vinegar. I'm going to throw that in there. If you want, you can add some cheese to this. I like to just keep it like that. Mix it up with a fork. Besides looking absolutely spectacular, I don't know if you can really get a good look at that. But besides looking super spectacular, you throw that on top of some lettuce or romaine or baby greens. Put it with some cheese, some nice mozzarella cheese, and it makes an absolute fabulous salad to go on the side of the dish that we're going to have tonight. So that's another quick thing you can do. Let this marinate in the refrigerator for a couple of hours, and then take it out like an hour before you're ready to serve, so it comes up to room temperature, and it'll be absolutely fabulous. I'll be back. Again, our sauce is cooking. I'm going to make the pasta when I get back, about 6 or 7 hours from now. I will see you. While you were out, I went and took a peruse through the fridge, and I found some mozzarella cheese, and I found some beautiful pine nuts. So what I did is I went to the stove, I heated up like a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, and I let them come until it was glistening a little bit, not boiling. We don't want it scorching. And I threw the pine nuts in. I turned the stove completely off and just let the pine nuts roast in that warm, beautiful olive oil. And that gives you nice, beautiful roasted pine nuts every time. You don't burn them. Ask any chef. That's one of the few things they always burn is pine nuts. This way you don't burn it. It just warms in the olive oil, it roasts, fabulous. Smell is incredible. That, and I found a little mozzarella cheese. I diced that up and threw it in our salad. So here is our salad, and I'm going to let that sit, preferably at room temperature. You don't have to refrigerate this. I find that at room temperature it tends to take up all the flavors a lot nicer. And then later when we're ready to serve dinner, I'm gonna throw that on top of the salad, lettuce, mixed greens, whatever kind of salad I do, and it's gonna be absolutely. We're back. It's been about from my watch about 6 hours since we. Here comes the family. Hold on one sec. Hey, how you doing? I know it's kind of tight in here, but here's the pan. It's heating up with a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to take some of the sauce that's been cooking for the last 6 hours, and I'm going to stick it in the pan. Wow, amazing smell. And I'm going to take the pasta that I've got in the back. It's been cooking for about 7 minutes. I'm going to take out a serving and put it in the pan. And I'm going to let that cook down. Look at that. It's absolutely beautiful with the meat and the tomatoes and the fresh garlic. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Check it out. We'll be back in a minute. Thanks. Okay, here's the pasta. It's absolutely beautiful with the meat and the sauce. I threw it all together in a pan, let it heat up all together, and it became absolutely beautiful. Look at that. The salad. I took some plain lettuce. I have some the salad that was the tomatoes and the onions and the cheese, and it goes on top of the lettuce. It makes a beautiful salad. The pine nuts. There you have it. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to dig into this. Let's try a little bit of this steaming pasta here. If you want, you can add cheese too, like Parmigiano, Reggiano. Absolutely delicious. The meat is like, it melts in your mouth. Absolutely incredible. You come back next time. We'll teach you how to do another dish. Thanks so much. Have a good night. Bye-bye.